The United States Coast Guard's National Security Cutter, also known as the Legend-class cutter and Maritime Security Cutter, LARGE, is the largest of several new cutter designs developed as part of the Integrated Deepwater System Program. 8 ships are in the program of record. Design: the Legend-class cutters are the second longest of all U.S. Coast Guard cutters, behind the research icebreaker Healy, and will replace the 12 Hamilton-class cutters in service. These cutters are envisioned by the Coast Guard as being able to undertake the entire range of the high-endurance cutter roles with additional upgrades to make it more of an asset to the Department of Defense during declared national emergency contingencies. These vessels can be used for intercepting suspect vessels, or for rescuing swimmers, fishery protection, maritime homeland security missions, counter-terrorism, or coastal patrol missions. To facilitate intercept missions, the Legend class can carry and launch both the short-range Prosecutor and the long-range Interceptor RHIBs. The cutter has a rear launching ramp, capable of launching and retrieving the 2 aft-stored rigid-hulled inflatable boats while underway. The NSC is built to about 90% military standards. Combat Suite: Legend-class cutters have increased data link bandwidth. The EADS North America TRS 3D radar system provides 3-dimensional air and surface search functions and is used in the LCS program as well as the German Corvette 130 program. The cutters are also equipped with the ANSLQ-32 electronic warfare system used in the DDG-51. The Legend class is equipped with the same 220 RPM's Bofors 57mm gun as mounted on the USN's LCS. The missile defense duties are handled by the Mk-36 SRBOC decoy systems also used on the FFG-7 and CG-47 programs and the CIWS. The sonar is reported as having mine and underwater swimmer location ability. History: the first NSC, USCGCA Bertholf, entered sea trials in February 2008. She has been in service since August 2008. And is home-ported at Coast Guard Island, Alameda, California. A second NSC, Weish, is also home-ported in Alameda in 2010. Construction of Stratton, which now carries a crew of 123, began in 2008 at Northrop Grumman's Ingalls Shipyard in Pascagoula, Miss. The vessel was christened by First Lady Michelle Obama on July 23, 2010. And released to the custody of the Coast Guard on September 2, 2011. She is now in service in Alameda. Construction on the 4th NSC, USCGC Hamilton, began in 2011. The Fleet Mix Analysis Phase 1 study in December 2009 called for 9 NSCs, but there are 8 ships in the program of record and only 7 hulls have been funded as of the FY 2013-17 Capital Investment Plan. Program issues: on July 7, 2009, the Government Accountability Office reported that delays in the NSC program are likely to result in the loss of thousands of cutter operational days for conducting missions through 2017. The GAO also reported that month that problems in the NSC program have delayed the OPC program by 5 years. The program was also plagued by structural issues. The Coast Guard historically uses its cutters extensively, typically 180 days at sea a year. Furthering the problem, this will often be in North Pacific and North Atlantic waters that are some of the roughest seas in the Northern Hemisphere. As such, the stresses on the cutters are expected to be very severe. Structural analysis showed that some parts of the cutter could be expected to survive only 3 years. This has been addressed in Cutter 752 on, with the first 2 cutters receiving reinforcements later. WMSL 752, the Stratton, suffered corrosion and leaks within weeks of commissioning in 2012. Earlier ships have not had that problem, so it may be the result of the cathodic protection system being hooked up in reverse. The delays and problems have led to cost increases. The latest USCG estimate for 8 ships is $5,474 million for an average cost of $684 million, but Hull 8 is not currently funded. The first 6 hulls cost $3,902 million for an average of $650 million per ship. The 6th NSC cost $735 million in FY 2012/3. Variants. Huntington Ingalls Industries has proposed 2 patrol frigates for naval use, based on the NSC hull. Patrol Frigate 4501 is very similar to the NSC, the main differences being a modified stern ramp and a knuckle-bound crane replacing the overhead crane. The crew is increased to 148, and it was offered to the U.S. Navy as a replacement for the Littoral Combat Ship. The FY13 cost of an LCS was $446.3 million compared to $735 million for an NSC. Patrol Frigate 4921 is a more radical redesign with a crew of 141, adding weapons and sensors at the expense of reducing range from 12,000 nautical miles to 8,000 nautical miles. It adds a 12-cell Mk56 VLS launcher for ESSM air defense missiles, just behind the main gun, which is upgraded from 57mm to a 76mm Super Rapid. 2 quad launchers for Harpoon anti-ship missiles and a triple launcher for torpedoes are added to the stern. It retains the C-RAM Phalanx CIWS and 6 machine guns of other NSC variants. The stern is closed and houses a towed array sonar. There is a hull sonar for mine countermeasures and an ESM suite. The original National Patrol Frigate concept had an AN/SPY-1F air defense radar, but by 2012 the PF-4921 was being shown with an Australian AFR radar. This coincided with HII promoting an NSC variant for the Royal Australian Navy's upcoming offshore combatant vessel project. Brazil, Saudi Arabia and Germany have also shown interest in NSC derivatives. Ship list. The United States Coast Guard hopes to build 8 national security cutters, USCGCA Berth Alpha, WMSL 750, USCGCA War Esquire, WMSL 751, USCGCA Strotuna, WMSL 752, USCGCA Hamiltoner, WMSL 753, USCGCA Jamesa, WMSL 754, USCGCA Monroe, WMSL 755, USCGCA Kimballa, WMSL 756, USCGCA Midgetta, WMSL 757, see also, Equipment of the United States Coast Guard, Offshore Patrol Cutter, USCGC Going Buoy Tender, USCG Inland Buoy Tender, References. External links. Media related to Legend-class cutters at Wikimedia Commons, National Security Cutters at USCG Deepwater Site, National Security Cutter Fact Sheet.